These are photos of an island in the South Pacific.
The place where myth and science meet.
We use explosives to shake the earth, helping us to map the surface of the island.
They're dropping bombs. Scientific instruments.
Is that a monkey?
Magnificent.
You knew that thing was out here?
I'm sorry for your men, Colonel. But if you want to make their sacrifice worthwhile, hit us home with proof. Monsters exist.
Whoa.
Your friend there can put that down. What the hell is this place?
That's Kong. He's king around here. Kong's a pretty good king. Keeps to himself mostly. Well, you don't go into someone's house and start dropping bombs unless you're picking a fight. Kong's God on the island, but the devils live below us.
And what are they called?
I call them skull crawlers.
Why?
Never said that name out loud before. It sounds stupid now that I say. Just, you call them whatever you want. This is a good group of boys. We're all gonna die together out here. You shouldn't have come here.
Just chopper them in and out. Be a joyride.
You are going to tell me everything I don't know, or I'm going to blow your head off.
This planet doesn't belong to us. Ancient species owned this earth long before mankind. I spent 30 years trying to prove the truth. Monsters exist.
You don't go into someone's house unless you're picking a fight.
What you're looking at is a monster from some bygone era. It's trying to show that man is king.
Apart from the very obvious alien agenda, the arrival that brings in martial law and ushers in the New World Order, topics that we discussed in the previous video regarding the TV show Colony, there are definitely more agendas at play in many other movies and TV shows, and the new King Kong movie is definitely not an exception. we are seeing, I believe, the return of the Nephilim being portrayed in this film. Now, many of you remember that there was a previous film done on King Kong back in 2005 with Jack Black, and this also ties in together with this particular film. I do not believe they are sequels. I believe they are just, I guess, enhancing the story, I guess you could say. But I find it quite fascinating that even right in the poster, you see 5 soldiers making almost a pyramidal shape, and there are 5 of them, to me denoting possibly the 5th age that is coming. They almost seem to be even walking on the water. And even right in the poster itself, it's saying, "All hail the king," which is none other than King Kong. So to me now, being awake as many of you are, when you see things like Kong being hailed as the king, you can definitely be assured that they are yet again promoting paganism and the worship of beings and animals and things apart from the true God. So I really wanted to show some obvious connections here with regard to the return of the Nephilim, the offspring of the fallen angels with human women. But there are some connections that are also not obvious, that are more esoteric, that are more, I guess, hidden in plain sight, I guess you could say, and things that I seem to pick up on my own. I'm sure you will see the same things as well and possibly make the same connections. And according to IMDb, this movie is shown to be a team of explorers and soldiers travel to an uncharted island in the Pacific, unaware that they are crossing into the domain of monsters, including the mythical Kong. All right, so basically they are going to come across something that they have just never seen before, and they are basically in for the shock of a lifetime. So again, I am not sure if whether this is going to be a sequel to the movie that was done in 2005. I'm assuming it is going to be basically a brand new film here, just enhancing the story a bit more. And let me just show you some screenshots here and show some information from the internet and hope that you will see what I'm trying to say here. But I found this particular shot quite interesting, as you see a group of people. I think this part is from the army. I'm not sure who these people are, but I'm assuming they're all part of the same group, and they're being making, or someone is making a presentation here, and he is showing a mysterious undiscovered island in the South Pacific. This is something that we saw even in the previous King Kong movie in 2005, an island that they discovered or was not on the map or something like that. And to me, is this more land, or is there more land out there that we just haven't been told about, that only the elites know? Sometimes I've been wondering lately that even the map of the world that we have, of course, it's a globe. I do not believe in the globe lie anymore. I believe in the true cosmology of the world according to the Bible. And possibly are we being shown that there could be more land out there? It's funny how this particular island that they're talking about looks like an evil face, which I guess denotes the name Skull Island. But anyways, is it another mysterious island out there or land that we have just not been told about? Because I find it quite fascinating, and I've seen people post this on Facebook or in different flat earth groups, but this is something that has been in newspapers from many years ago. But there was an article that said, was this the world map made 10 centuries ago? And it says here, stranger almost than the manuscript found in a copper cylinder is the copy of a map which came across seas to Honolulu from a Buddhist temple in the mountains of central Japan. Remember this whole Buddhist theme. We're going to be talking about that today, actually. It is a map of the world made 1,000 years ago. Dr. Kobayashi, the well-known Japanese physician and surgeon of Honolulu, has received a copy of the map which he believes to have been made by Chinese priests 10 centuries ago. So here's a copy, I guess, of the same paper where this article came from. I'm not sure of the date of this, but isn't it fascinating that this is showing the world as we know it right in the center, but outside are many more land masses that just do not appear in our traditional maps. So are we cryptically being shown in these King Kong movies that there is more land out there? Is there possibly Nephilim or fallen angel beings residing on those pieces of land? That obviously remains to be seen. Are there, crazy creatures out there that, are on these islands or different pieces of land that only the elites and the Illuminati basically knows about, and the rest of the world is being hidden from that? Obviously that remains to be seen. But I found that quite fascinating, or it just really hit me as I saw this trailer and they're talking about this other piece of, or this undiscovered, piece of land that is out there. And, John Goodman is one of the actors in this movie, and he says it's a place, or this Skull Island is a place where myth and science meet. So, that really made me think, are they basically telling us that science and myth are basically one and the same thing? Are we being told that all the science that we have been taught, or a lot of it, is basically myth? And, many of us who are awake to the pseudoscience and what we're being told, many of us know that the globe is a lie, but mainstream science pushes that like crazy. Many of us know that evolution is a lie, but mainstream science pushes that as crazy as well. Many of us know that even a lot of things to do with vaccines and medicine are also a bunch of lies and a bunch of chemicals that are killing people. And we know that their plans are for depopulation. So really, yet again, a lot of lies are being propagated by mainstream science. So really, has it been a myth the entire time? And King Kong movie back in 2005 with Jack Black mentioned this Skull Island in a similar way, that it was an undiscovered, uncharted island. And it's interesting, as we just showed, that the ancient maps of the world possibly said the same thing. And here's just a shot from that movie of 2005, King Kong, as they came to the Skull Island. There were these massive walls that were set up, and they were obviously set up to keep out something massive, which was most likely King Kong and the other crazy creatures that were shown in this movie. There were dinosaurs. Here you'll recall that King Kong got into a crazy fight with 2 or 3 different T-Rexes and other crazy beings and creatures that were out there over the wall. So yet again, even how the Great Wall, that video we did a little while ago regarding a Matt Damon film, the Great Wall of China, also possibly depicting that the wall was built to keep out creatures other than just man, but crazy Nephilim giant creatures. So is this what we're being shown yet again? So as we keep going, I found this scene quite fascinating, where I believe this is Samuel L. Jackson said, really it's quite a unique head. You can't really, you can really pick it out anywhere. But, here it's showing him coming face to face with King Kong in the midst of chaos and fire and bombs. So is this kind of a cryptic way of showing that humanity is on the brink of chaos, which will usher in the New World Order beast system? And, the Antichrist will appear on the world stage, whether people like it or not. Humanity is going to face the beast itself. And, the beast will bring much destruction and desolations on the earth. After all, that is one of his titles. He is referred to as the abomination that causes desolation, and even human beings and humankind just, going face to face with the beast. This is yet another theme that is being shown in many movies. The one that I can recall was Bryce Dallas Howard's role in the recent film Jurassic World, where you see there is a scene of her facing basically the big monster in that movie. It was a genetically altered, dinosaur that was way bigger than a T-Rex and was basically capable of a lot of destructive power. But of course, she comes face to face with this, and this is something that the human race is going to face one day, because the abomination that causes desolation, depopulation, destruction is going to appear on the world scene very, very soon. He is not going to be a man, or it is not going to be a man. It is going to be a supernatural, basically, I would say, resurrection of Nimrod. It will be the son of Satan himself, the son of the dragon. It will be the abomination that causes desolation. And that is what I believe we are being shown here, that it's going to bring in so much of destruction into the world. And, with another scene in the trailer, you see a massive handprint of blood, which is basically King Kong's handprint. It's just more giant programming for the masses. I believe that this is exactly what Isaiah 13 has prophesied from millennia ago. And this is a passage that we have spoken about many times. I'm going to go to it yet again, right from the Septuagint version. From Isaiah chapter 13, it says, lift up, from verse 2, lift up a standard on the mountain of the plain, exalt the voice to them, beckon with the hand, open the gates. We'll talk about that gates a little later. Ye rulers, I give command and I bring them. Giants are coming to fulfill my wrath. Rejoicing at the same time and insulting. So the Lord God, this is a prophecy against Babylon, against basically the world, that the sin of man and judgment is coming because of the sin of man, and God is literally going to allow the giants to come back, the return of the Nephilim, the progeny of the fallen angels mixing with humans. All that kind of thing is coming back. This has been prophesied from so long ago, and we are constantly being shown this in the movies. So they are coming to fulfill the wrath of God. There, I believe we are being shown over and over and over again that the Nephilim are coming, that it is an inevitable event that is going to take place. And, is this meaning that all of the abominable and detestable creatures are coming back? I believe that is. If you believe what the Bible says, then I fully believe that this is going to be part of the judgment that comes upon the entire world. Because again, it is said very clearly in Isaiah chapter 13. If you look at the Septuagint version of the Old Testament, it is basically a translation from the Hebrew into the Greek, which was then translated into English, but it is a very, very more literal translation. And as we keep going, I found this scene kind of interesting. You've got lucky number 13 there on the helicopter, which is, if you count these little bird-like paintings or drawings or stickers, whatever you want to call them, on the helicopter, they add up to 13. So to me, this is the Illuminati signature. The illuminated ones know that this day is coming because they completely worship Lucifer, they worship the dragon, they worship the fallen angels, and of course they worship their progeny, the Nephilim. And number 13 is, a big number in the Illuminati. If you go to this particular article that I've shown many times, this is none other than a big Illuminati number. There are 13 members in covens and satanic cults, 12 regular members, and 1 high priest. So this is a mirroring of 12 jurors and 1 judge, 13. There are 13 high occult families that run the world. All right, so that's something you need to remember, that the number 13 is very, very significant to the Illuminati because of the 13 supposed bloodlines that are running this world. So always keep that in mind, because this number 13 appears a lot in many of these movies. And as we keep going, John Goodman says that monsters exist, and he says that as you see this basically circular gateway, and you saw the gateway even in a different scene before this particular scene, to me, could this possibly be CERN symbolism to show that the pit is going to be open very soon? And, this number of people that are here, you've got 7 tribal people and 1 American, which is a total number of 8. And we know that 8 is the number of rebirth or new beginnings. So really, is it again denoting that the 5th age is about to begin? And what I find quite interesting is that these tribal people on this island look similar to Buddhist monks. And the reason why I thought that is because I am of Sri Lankan descent myself, and Buddhism just happens to be the major religion of Sri Lanka, apart from Hinduism and even Catholicism. But Buddhism dominates Sri Lanka, where I come from. And so what do the red and gold colors mean in Buddhism? They actually have a flag with about 5 or 6 different colors, and they all have meaning. So let's just check out what the meanings of those colors are in Buddhism. And I got this great article here from The Colors of Religion, aka for this particular religion, Buddhism. So the color red symbolizes life force, preservation, fire, and sacred things or places. It also riddled with duality. Now that's really interesting. We'll keep that in mind as we talk about duality a lot in many videos. But yet again, the red symbolizes fire and duality, because fire can represent warmth and comfort, but can also be a destructive force. So there you go. You've got the duality symbolized in the red. And the yellow is the color that possesses the highest symbolic quality because of the saffron color of the monks' robes. And it goes on to say that it is also a color of the earth. Yellow denotes stability and grounded nature. So really, nature worship, all that kind of thing, Gaia, Mother Earth, that same kind of stuff. So yellow is basically representing Mother Earth worship, nature worship, and red is good old duality, because fire can be a good thing and a bad thing. So keep this duality in mind, because there are still more connections regarding this this Buddhism and these colors and what you're going to see here. So as we keep going, we'll see that they get taken into a temple and told that this image is Kong. So you see this image, it comes together. So, but can you see, what I found interesting is, can you see what these people are doing in the image? They are basically bowing down to this giant gorilla. So they're worshiping him as an idol or as a pagan god. So very much to me, it reminded me of good old Hanuman, the worship, which he is worshipped in Hinduism and in Buddhism. So if we look at, there's just a picture of Hanuman. He's always depicted as, the monkey god. He's got the monkey face and the very strong body of a man. So to me, yet again, Nephilim worship, similar to Ganesha, who's got the elephant head and the human body, but again, complete Nephilim stuff going on here. And this article from Encyclopedia Britannica, who explains Hanuman, says that in Hindu mythology, the monkey commander of the monkey army. His exploits are narrated in the great Hindu Sanskrit poem Ramayana. So it says that while still a baby, Hanuman, the child of a nymph by the wind god, tried to fly up and grab the sun, which he mistook for a fruit. Indra, the king of the gods, struck Hanuman with a thunderbolt, so I guess Indra could be the Hindu version of Zeus, on the jaw, thus Hanu, thus inspiring the name. When Hanuman continued to misbehave, powerful sages cursed him to forget his magic powers, such as the ability to fly or to become infinitely large, until he was reminded of them. Hanuman led the monkeys to help Rama, an avatar incarnation of the god Vishnu, to recover Rama's wife Sita from the demon Ravana. All right, so basically we can see that this Hanuman is a trickster, that he's full of mischief. He was struck literally by Zeus or Indra, and he was, trying to get him to forget his powers, his ability to fly and become extremely large. But what I also found interesting about Hanuman, apart from the fact that he's worshipped in many temples, it actually says here, I personally used to only put Hanuman, or associate Hanuman, I should say, with Hinduism. But look at this. Hanuman is also a popular figure among Buddhists in Central, Southeast, and East Asia. Okay, so Hanuman is a prominent figure in Hinduism as well as in Buddhism. And so, this is being shown, I believe, in this movie, how they are worshiping Hanuman. And even though we got these characters that seemingly are Buddhists or look like Buddhists, you would think that they worship Buddha, but they also worship Hanuman, as shown in this Encyclopedia Britannica article. And, something that we have been shown in other movies, I'm sure you'll recall the Jungle Book, and King Louis, who was shown to be a very funny character in the original animated film many years ago by Disney, was shown in this recent one as a very dark kind of creature. I found it quite interesting that he resided in something that looked like almost like a Hindu temple or a Buddhist temple. He was very big. He was a very dark kind of creature, and was very forceful. He also commanded a bunch of monkeys as his cronies, just exactly as Hanuman does, as was shown in this article, that he commands his monkeys, or his monkey soldiers, or whatever you want to call it. So really the same kind of thing is being shown to us. So is it the same thing really as King Kong? So basically Kong is the same kind of thing, controlling this island. He's being hailed as the king of this island. And so to me, we are possibly being shown Hanuman pagan worship going on here. And in the next scene we see these people are getting told that Kong is king around here. So really, again, pagan god worship, Hanuman worship. And interesting that these 5 people form almost a pyramidal shape, go figure, just as we saw in the poster. And again, is this denoting the 5th age that is coming? And what I also found interesting, and talking about some more deeper connections here, it's interesting that the same actor who played Loki in Thor is in this movie as well. He's one of the main characters. And so I started digging into it as to, is there a significance or a connection between Loki and this movie? And lo and behold, there is. As we look more into Loki, you'll remember him, his character in Thor. He was almost even a fun-loving kind of character. Many people fell in love with how this particular actor played Loki, but he had quite the pizzazz and charisma and stuff like that. But if we look at the Norse mythology of Loki, we know that he is a shapeshifter. We know that he is also a wily trickster. Interesting that Hanuman, as we just saw, also is a wily trickster, that he does mischief, he misbehaves. Okay, so same kind of thing here that we're being shown here with Loki. So Loki could be a Norse equivalent of Hanuman, the same kind of thing. He is treated as a nominal member of the gods. Loki occupies a high, ambivalent, and ultimately unique position among the gods, giants, and other kinds of spiritual beings. All right, so again, the giants, King Kong is a giant. Hanuman is also a giant, as it says that he is able to become infinitely large. So again, Loki as well is able to do the same thing. And what I find quite interesting here, as we go down here, it says that in the tales, Loki is portrayed as a scheming coward who cares only for shallow pleasures and self-preservation. He's by turns playful, malicious, and helpful. So he can be malicious, he can be helpful. Remember the duality that we just spoke about as we showed the colors of of Buddhism, and how red, the fire, can represent duality. So the same thing we're being shown here with Loki, that he also can signify duality. All right, and that he goes back and forth, that he can be malicious and helpful, that he can be irreverent and nihilistic as well. So can you see the same theme being played here with Loki or with Hanuman, that basically they're a trickster, that they're shapeshifters, or at least Loki can take the shape of anything, that he can also become a giant. And I will leave this article and all the other things that I'm showing in this video for you to look for yourself, that basically he can be a helper, but he can also be a trickster and be malevolent and do things against the other ones that he was helping. So really, this is just the same thing that we're being shown, whether it's about Hanuman, whether it's King Kong, whether it's even Loki. It's no coincidence that the same character who played Loki in the Thor movies is now one of the main characters in this movie, because it all ties together. Always remember that these things are never done by accident, that the Illuminati and the Jesuit Illuminati behind Hollywood, the occultic Satanists, they are doing this all on purpose. They know exactly what they are doing. And as we keep going, we see this scene of one of the soldiers and good old huge massive King Kong as he's just striding through the mountains and the water here. And they get told that Kong's a pretty good king. He pretty much keeps to himself mostly. So Hanuman, or basically a pagan god, is now, being deemed as pretty good and peaceful then, right? So yeah, we can, rely on these gods. They're benevolent, they're kind, they will help us, and, they keep to themselves. There's no harm in being in fellowship or being in communion with these pagan gods. No, not at all. But, really, society is being programmed to accept paganism as good. So can you see the duality? Just as we spoke of the fire, the red color of Buddhism, it represents duality, because fire can be a nice, warm, and comforting thing, but it can also be a destructive thing. We are really being shown that darkness is being made light, and light darkness, just as what Isaiah 5 says in chapter 5, verse 20. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. This duality is exactly what the devil loves. He is constantly trying to show, light and darkness, good and evil, man and woman, all in the same kind of context, or in the same likeness of being, that light and darkness are the same, but really they are not. We know that even as the Word of God says that God is light, and in him there is no darkness at all. So light and darkness cannot coexist, all right? It is either one or the other, but the devil wants to keep morphing them into the same thing. That is how he is confusing the masses. And as we keep going, we see that Kong, we get told that Kong is God on the island, but the devils live below us. And, this is said, nicely said, as we see good old sun god symbolism behind Kong. So really showing him as, good old Hanuman. We see the same kind of things when we see Hanuman depictions, the sign of the sun god behind him, the illuminated one. All these same kind of traits we see in many of these artists' renderings of these pagan gods. So, we get told that the devils live below us. So if that's the case, what does that mean that they are coming out soon? If they know that they're below us, is the pit about to open very soon? And sure enough, in the very next scene, surprise, surprise, we get shown the pit. And of course, it's red and smoking. So literally the pit is being shown as about to be opened. Will CERN be the key? I'm sure it could very well be. Many of us know that CERN is right in an area that was known in ancient times as Apaliacum, or basically the gates of hell. So is CERN going to be the key, or the thing, the machine, the apparatus that opens the pit? I'm sure that is going to be the case. And, we keep going in the next scene. Loki asks, I'm going to just call him Loki from now on, because basically that's who he reminds me of. And what are they called? And this is the things that come out of the pit. And he goes, I call them skull crawlers, which you'll see in a little bit. But I don't know about you, but this scene, as you can see the humans walking through this, you can see them right there. There's a line of human beings. Look at how tiny they are compared to these bones or the remains of what is being shown here in this scene. So, this is totally reminding me of something, which is basically the tons of pictures online of the tons of gigantic bones that have been found all over the earth. And if you don't know what I'm talking about here, I'll give you some little stuff to chew on here. This is a depiction or a rendering of many of the different sizes of bones that have been found. Some up to even as 36 feet have been found all over the earth. You see pictures of this. You can see how small the people are, but look at how huge this skeleton is. You can see another one here. You can see here's another one with a man. There's a regular sized man, and look at how long this thing is. You can see another picture here of how tiny this man is and how big these bones are. So really, these are things that are being found all over the world. And so this is kind of a catalog of the different sizes of skeletons that are being found all over the world. And funny how, this is being shown pretty much in our faces in these particular movies. And, now we're being shown giant bones of giant creatures all over the place. And it's really funny how the Smithsonian and other government agencies hide this, but definitely the movies don't hide it at all. We know people like Ellie Marzulli constantly talk about how the Smithsonian hide these things, or even Tom Horn, but of course in the movies they don't hide anything. There's no holding back the movies from showing these things, because people think it's just stories and folklore and whatever in these movies. They think it's just made up, but really, where are these stories coming from? They are coming from the truth that's being hidden right in plain sight. And again, funny, you've got these people again in a pyramidal shaped form, and there's 5 of them, to me again showing the 5th age that is about to come. And talking about those skull crawlers, check out little Fluffy here, who's coming out to play. So does that mean that the pit has just been opened? Or these are the same abominations or devils that will come as per Isaiah 13, just as we spoke about before? Because if you look at the end of this chapter, now we said at the beginning in 13 verse 3 that the giants are coming to fulfill my wrath, and down at the bottom of this chapter, at one of the final verses, it says, it shall, here we go, but wild beasts shall rest there, and the houses shall be filled with howling, and monsters shall rest there, and devils shall dance there. So it's funny how even right in this movie, the lines say that the devils are there below us. Okay, as we saw in this particular scene here, it says Kong on the island, Kong is God on the island, but the devils live below us. So they're literally making reference to devils that live below us. And funny how, right in Isaiah 13, at the end of the chapter, it says monsters shall rest there and devils shall dance there. So this is all about the giants and the Nephilim returning to the earth, God allowing them to come back onto the earth to fulfill his wrath. So these are the kinds of things that I believe, in my opinion, are going to return to the earth and are going to wreak havoc. And this is reminding me yet again of the 2005 King Kong movie, because who remembers the giant bug scene that was in that movie? To me, it was showing the locusts that are coming out of the pit, of Revelation 9. And here's a scene of that, horrible scene. I still get the willies when I see this kind of stuff. I've never been good with bugs. I cannot stand bugs, but seeing gigantic bugs like that was just horrible to watch, and was possibly one of the most craziest bug scenes I've ever seen, apart from, of course, the good old Temple of Doom scene in Indiana Jones. But again, to me, completely depicting the locusts of Revelation 9 coming out of the pit, and yet again being shown in a King Kong movie. Okay, even we saw even giant kind of leeches taking apart this guy. So again, same kind of horrible kind of stuff being shown in these movies, and again, all coming back to the fact that the devils are under us. They're going to be coming out of the pit. CERN could possibly be the instrument that causes that to happen. And so is that what we are being shown? And this final screenshot that I'm going to show you is, now it seems like they are going to Kong, the king and god of this island, for help. Because in the next scene, when you saw that trailer that we showed at the beginning of this video, you see that this female character puts her hand up so as to touch Kong, as if they're making peace with him, as if they're going to him for help. So really, are they basically showing that they are reaching out to Hanuman for help? So basically, they are reaching out to the trickster, or the devil, who is now the hero. So yet again, talking about duality, fire, the color red in Buddhism, symbolizing duality, warmth but also destruction. Thor, or sorry, Loki being the trickster and also being a good guy, or even Hanuman being a mischief maker, but also being able to morph into a huge thing. So we can see this is yet again a representation of duality of Hanuman, the pagan god, all of a sudden becoming the good guy, being looked upon as the hero, being called upon to help, and possibly being shown as benevolent, but he is anything but, because he is just a servant of Lucifer, of Satan, the dragon. So this is really what we're being shown, I believe, the return of the Nephilim, the fallen angels, of Lucifer, the dragon. And, you know, I'm sure you would have seen this commercial for Mitsubishi, one of their new hybrid vehicles, and I really believe even this whole concept of hybrid vehicles is basically more programming to accept these hybrid beings, the Nephilim. We see in this commercial the Medusa here with the snake head. We see this bull character, bull-faced character as with the body of a man. We see a mermaid. We see Pegasus here, a horse with wings. We see, of course, a Chiron with a man and a horse body. So same kind of stuff being shown, that the pit is about to be open, that these characters are about to come out of the pit, or come even from the firmament, the return of the fallen angels. So the same kind of thing is being shown in this Kong movie and so many other different TV shows and music videos and movies. And, you know, I really wanted to encourage you to watch a video by Round Saturn's Eye. He actually did a video exposing the same Mitsubishi commercial that I'm just speaking about. So I would encourage you, please watch this video. He did an excellent job of exposing this particular commercial, and I'm actually going to play this commercial for you at the end of this video so you can see for yourself if you have not seen the commercial. But also I will leave a link for this particular video, so please do check out RSE's awesome video on that particular commercial, because again, it is all telegraphing the return of the Nephilim, the return of the progeny of the fallen angels mating with human women, the work of Lucifer and his fallen angels as what they did in the days of Noah. And you know, this is nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes 1:6 says that there is just absolutely nothing new under the sun, that what has been done before will be done again. There is just nothing new. So even though the church, you know, many mainstream Christians don't want to hear these things, but really the Word of God has been showing us and screaming to us of what is about to come for the longest time, for millennia. And so the pit, in my opinion, is about to be opened very soon, the return of the Nephilim. This is exactly, in my opinion, what this movie is showing, and what many other commercials and TV shows are also depicting. And again, you don't have to believe anything that I say. I encourage you to look into these things for yourself, because always remember that even Yeshua Jesus said the same thing. And right from Matthew 24, when his disciples were asking what will be the signs of the end, he said in verse 37 of chapter 24, "But as the days of Noah were, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be." So what were the days of Noah? I believe Yeshua gave us a very obvious clue, and that what was going on with Noah. The traditional church likes to preach that it was just about man's sin, but really, if it was about man's sin, then, you know, really we need to be making life rafts right now, because, you know, we should have been destroyed a long time ago. It's something that even Chuck Missler talks about, that we should have been destroyed a long time ago if the flood was just about sin. But really, there was much more going on. It was the fallen angels taking women for themselves and having relations with them, and the progeny, their progeny, were the giants, the Nephilim, these crazy unsanctioned creatures that were definitely not allowed by God himself. So he sent the flood to destroy them, and that is exactly what Yeshua is talking about. That, just as in the days of Noah, the Nephilim, the fallen angels, the dragon doing all their horrible things, that is exactly what is coming upon the earth in the last days. And we are being shown this over and over again, because sadly the illuminated ones, the Jesuits, the Luciferian elites, basically all the people who are part of the Illuminati and who are running this world, they know exactly what is coming, because they worship these things. All right, so do not be fooled, do not be programmed by what we are being shown. Do not accept these things, because only Yeshua is going to come and destroy these things. He is going to rule this world once and for all. And, you know, I'm going to end with showing you this song. You will recognize the song in the trailer as a CCR song, or Creedence Clearwater Revival song, Bad Moon Rising. It's quite interesting that they chose this song. And again, nothing is by chance or coincidence. This song was chosen for a very obvious reason. If you look at the lyrics, "I see a bad moon rising, I see trouble on the way, I see earthquakes and lightning, I see bad times today. Don't go around tonight. Well, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. And it keeps going. I hear hurricanes blowing. I know the end is coming soon. Now, if that isn't more obvious, I do not know what is. Okay, again, I know the end is coming soon. So really, you can keep looking at these lyrics, but it's all about the end. It's all about the destruction of the world. It's all about the fact that darkness is coming, that the end is coming, that there's going to be earthquakes and lightning and trouble is on the way, that the end is coming soon. So just be forewarned right now that we are being shown that the return of the Nephilim is coming, that Isaiah 13 has clearly been prophesying this, as have many other prophetic scriptures in the Word of God, whether it's the book of Daniel, whether it's the book of Revelation, whether it's Yeshua, Jesus himself in the Gospels, talking about just as in the days of Noah, so also will be the coming of the Son of Man. So do not let these things program you. Do not let these things condition you to accept this reality or to accept these fallen angels and their progeny, because this is nothing more than the devil coming very soon. He is showing you through these movies, through Luciferian Hollywood, that he and his creatures are coming to this earth very soon, that the final judgment is coming upon this earth very, very soon. And the only way to be rescued from this horrible, horrible time on this world is to put your faith and your trust in Yeshua, Jesus. He is the only one that can save you from these things. And I just say today is the day of salvation. Please declare him as your Lord and Savior, because I would hate to see anyone left behind for what is about to come upon this earth. And again, as always, please be aware of what is being shown to us in plain sight. God bless you.
The Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, the UK's best-selling plug-in hybrid. In a world of hybrids, some follow, others lead.